Welcome back, future elementary educators. In this screencast, we take a look at what area is. This is from a conceptual standpoint. What is area? What do we mean when we try to find it? What is the thing we're looking for? Area is a measure of the space inside a closed figure. It measures the space inside a closed figure. When you work with children, one of the first things you show them is this thing. It's called a geoboard. This thing is a geoboard. And there are little pegs. That's what these little dots represent. There are pegs. And then you can run rubber bands to make certain shapes inside the geoboard. What is this predicated on? The whole idea is that one of these squares, this has area 1 unit. So when we talk about the space inside this square, the space inside that square is 1 unit, 1 square unit. So this is 1 unit, this is 1 unit, this is 1 square unit. That's the building block for area. Whether it's 1 square centimeter or 1 square inch or 1 square whatever, it's 1 square unit. So then the next thing folks naturally look to do is ask, well, what's the area of that? Well, that's 2 square units, right? This has area 2 square units. And then people look to get a little creative. What's the area of that thing? And it doesn't take too long to break that down. This has area 6 square units. And then for the pièce de résistance, so we got this and this and this and this and this. What is the area of this region? Well, some of this is easy to find, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that's easy to find. But this area, that's a little bit harder to find. So let's break this up in a logical way, and let's deal with the triangle up here first. Now, we don't know a formula for the area of a triangle till we watch the next screencast. So we've just got to go with what we know. We know what squares do, so let's make something just as big on the outside. The red square, the area of the red square is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square units. And it looks like this line divides that square in half. So this area is 9/2 square units. And then when we look down here, it looks like this blue rectangle has area 1, 2, 3 square units. The area of the blue rectangle is 3 square units. So it feels like the area here should be 3/2 square units. So this is 4, and that's 9/2, and that's 3/2. And so the area is 10 square units. So we can find areas on a geoboard by breaking things up into smaller pieces. But what's the big thing to remember? Area is just the space inside. That's what we're finding when we find area. We have a plane figure, it's a closed plane figure, and we want to know what the area is. What's the space inside of the region? Take a moment, pause the video, find the areas of these regions. Use your geoboard skills and not area formulas you may be familiar with. Find the areas of these regions. So some of them are easier to find than others, right? You've probably found that this was harder to come up with than you thought it was. Let's do this in an interesting way. Let's surround this with a big square. What's the area of the big square? 4 by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16. So the area of the big square is 16. And while we can't break the red triangle up in a way that's going to give us disjoint regions that we can find, we can find the area of this triangle out here. It happens to be 9/2. And we can find the area of this triangle out here. It happens to be 2. And we can find the area of this triangle out here. It happens to be 2. So the area of this triangle on the inside is the 16 from the square minus the 9/2 minus the 2 minus the 2. That's 4.5, 6.5, 8.5. So that's 7.5 square units. Surround and subtract is a time-honored technique to find an area of a figure. Hope that's helpful. In the next screencast, we're going to look at area formulas that you're familiar with and why they work.